Hey, hey.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 8-Bit Heroes podcast, the pixelated podcast where we discuss all of your nerdy needs. Today, we will be discussing the recent events of Game of Thrones and its series finale. We are going to spend all episode talking about this particular topic. So be prepared if you're in the chat. Throw us whatever you think, good, bad, or indifferent. We don't judge, and we'll talk about it. Today's guests will be Sarisa Storm.
I'm not a guest. I am so not a guest.
Not with that attitude, you're not. Drew
Right.
Deal.
What up?
Okay, and Darth Zenori.
Hello.
All right. And we're about to just jump into this thing. So, Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6, or as I like to call it, Lame of Thrones.
Oh, Lord.
I thought you were calling it
Game
Plot
of
holes.
Thrones.
Game of Plot Holes. Oh, Lord.
I call it genocide.
That.
Genocide of Thrones.
You can call it putting down
Genocide
old
of
yellow.
Thrones.
Putting down. Oh, yellow.
Oh, man. Sad. It's like that star football player who you knew was going to go pro, and then he got injured in the last game of the last season, and he worked at Kroger now. Like, that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah, that. Oh, my God.
I think we can thank the producers for that.
Oh, yeah, the writers.
Yeah. I mean, they want to move on to Star Wars, and they can make it be even worse, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I think we forgot. Because everybody, as much, hate as the fan community gets, the fan community in a lot of these communities, we give these fools a chance. We give them a chance every time. We're like an old hound dog. We just keep giving these fools chances. These are the same fools that did X-Men Origins Wolverine, the same fools that sewed up Deadpool's mouth and gave him Cyclops eye powers. These are the idiots that we put our trust in, and we now are surprised when we get this mediocre product, bro.
Wait.
Come on.
Oh, no, wait. So there was a responsible adult that created these books and was, in some sort of creative control or, at least in an advisory role. So we trusted him, not the rest.
First of all, hold on. First, you're using a lot of words real loosely right now. Okay. First off, George R. Martin, I love him. Big shouts out to you. I love your work. However, responsible and adult are two words I would not necessarily use to describe this particular individual.
You're right, but he knows his material, and that's what I was kind of counting on. Your volume is really loud, by the way.
Ain't his volume. That's just the way he talks.
That's just how he is, huh?
How about now? Am I regulated now? Do I sound better now?
It's better. You good. Go ahead.
All right. So anyway, yeah. Just call it what it is. I mean, yesterday's episode was an abortion of monumental proportions, okay? I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, really bad.
The episode starts off with Tyrion walking through the rubble that used to be King's Landing. That's what he's doing right now.
Yep. He was looking like, I messed up badly here. Okay. I was told. He was told.
He looked like he had the expression that he was still like in a nightmare, like he was trying to wake up from it. Like the King's Landing was pretty much like his second home, and it was just it's gone. Complete destruction wrought throughout it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was devastating to everyone. It was just kind of like I couldn't associate my feelings with the episode, and the reason I couldn't was because in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, they wrote this poorly. Like I couldn't see the characters that I have been like emotionally invested in for like almost 8 years. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't see any of them in these last few episodes. Like I didn't see Daenerys, not the one I knew. I didn't see Tyrion because, jeez, I mean, I barely recognized Jon Snow. So
Yeah.
for me, when I was watching this, whatever that was, I was just kind of like, is this a new show with all my favorite characters like faces? Because they weren't acting like the people that they built up to be. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was just this I couldn't associate this to the ending of Game of Thrones. This is like I was just seeing this fan made bullish.
Yeah. I didn't feel attached to any of the
Nah.
characters either. Like I think it's just this season completely like
Yeah.
ruined everything. Like I say, 7 was getting into bad territory, but this one right here is just pretty much all bad. And I didn't care anything to happen when it was going off. Me and my buddy, I'm always watching. We were just like, okay, we ain't care like good or bad. We just like, all right, well, it's over. I ain't gotta watch us no more every week.
I mean, the reason that I was like, oh my god, was it wasn't that I was surprised that she burnt King's Landing to a crisp. It was an oh my god, they messed up her character, they messed up the story. They just what are they doing? Like that was where my shock was. It was like, what are you doing?
Like what's bad is if they could have did a few more seasons and they wanted to end it exactly the way it did, they could have made it work. We could have had like 2 seasons worth of her going crazy. It would have been cool when she finally went crazy, or anything to happen on that. But we didn't get no build. Everything is like super
she went
rushed.
from 0 to nutso and like
it was 6 episodes long. Like that didn't make any sense. Like I don't know if it's because of that 2-year gap. I know there's an issue with filming and Brexit at the time, but I feel they could have taken the time to film a more detailed story, because there were a lot of gaps throughout this episode that I was like, wait a minute, they did time skip? What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't even notice when because me and my buddy was like, how everybody get there? And we was like, oh, it must have been a time skip. And I was just like, here we go again with this time skipping crap. Like,
speaking of skipping, and I know this bothered Jacob, but did y'all see like Grey Worm go from one side of the map to the other in like 0.2 seconds?
Oh, you talking about the part where he was slicing people's throat and then he magically
and from there he magically
beat John.
He popped up like Mr. Deed's butler. He just popped up, bro. Like I was like, what? Where did you come from, fam? You was all the way back there cutting throats. No, son.
Was teleportation now. Yeah.
It was cringeworthy. I was just like, and that ending and the way they, oh my god, it was just so badly written.
Yeah, I was absolutely. I didn't care. It was just like I said, I was just ready for it to be over, and I wanted to watch it be over just so I can say it's gone. But if I was them,
I mean, do we even need to talk about the forced Nazi imagery? What was the purpose? Is that like the default setting now? It's like, oh, when we want to show that somebody's screwing up royally, let's put Nazi imagery in the background, complete with dang goose-stepping, armies and a desperate ruler yelling at the top of her lungs. Like, let's do that. Like, what?
When I was watching that scene, I just had Star Wars March of the Emperor in the background in my head. Like, that's all I pictured. Like, it literally looked like they ripped off a scene from Star Wars The Force Awakens. When they're all on the new planet
with the First Order and whatnot. Yeah,
the First Order and everything. They're all lined up, and you got what's his face walking forward. Like, I felt like that scene was completely ripped off, and all I hear was Dun, 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 dun. Like in the back of my head watching that, and she comes in this black outfit and everything. I'm like, she went full Sith, man. She went full Sith.
Full dark side. That's a problem. Like you're bringing some other crap into a world that it does not belong in. You know, I don't like what they, because the thing is, like, my characters, one of my, like, 3 of my favorite characters were ruined. You got Arya. What in the hell?
Yeah, they messed Arya up. One of the most badass characters of all time.
Right. Like, how dare you? And then you've got Dany, who also was a boss. Like, she was legit a boss. Oh. And genuinely wants to be a good person. You know what I mean? Like, that was the goal. Like, they made her freaking delusional, but that's not how she was. You had Jon Snow, who was honorable, but not a complete moron either. You know what I mean? Like, he did what was best for the people. And that's what he always did, no matter the cost to himself or, you know, or the very few, you know, or the people up top. So it's like, you just took 3 of my favorite characters and ruined them. Just completely ruined them. The plot holes, oh my god, I know we'll get into that eventually, but I'm just like, the whole Bran thing, nobody likes Bran. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody likes
Oh, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. Man. We gonna tear that thing apart. So now we're to the point where Tyrion is now prepared to confront Daenerys in front of all of the. No. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So now with Tyrion walking around dazed and confused, now we get to Jon and Sir Davos, and they happen upon Grey Worm and some Lannister soldiers that are about to be defeated and surrendered Lannister soldiers who are about to be executed by Grey Worm. And of course, we know that in Westeros, once a enemy army has given up, essentially you take prisoners and you hold them ransom so that you can properly negotiate with the remnants of that army that are left, which would, I guess, be in Lannisport or Casterly Rock, because that's where the Lannisters are from. And then you negotiate a peaceful, trading of hostages, so that these defeated warriors don't have to necessarily die because they've already surrendered. Well, apparently Grey Worm and the Unsullied have no concept of this idea. And
even when they heard it, it was like, I don't have to listen.
Yeah, they promptly tell Jon, Warden of the North, that they only listen to the Queen, and the Queen says kill every enemy soldier. And and they go as far as to point their spears at Jon Snow as if he is not, the de facto king of Winterfell.
I thought
chosen king of Winterfell.
I thought we were gonna get us a rumble right there. I was ready for it.
Nah, their script is too lame for that crap.
I was ready for him and Greyhand to throw hands. Sorry.
At this point, Jon Snow backs down like a punk. Right?
Which is not like him. Again, ruining my character. Okay, go ahead. I'm just mad.
And so Davos says, okay, well, we're going to talk to the Queen. Now, at this point, I expected for at least either Davos or Jon Snow to tell Grey Worm, like, look, you can carry out your orders. Just give us a couple hours. We're going to talk to the Queen. If she still says, off with the heads, cool. But if not, just chill out. Right? No, they do none of that. They literally get 3 steps away from Grey Worm, and he proceeds to continue cutting throats.
That's exactly what I thought when they said, we're gonna go talk to the Queen. I was like, oh, okay, he's just gonna wait. Nope. As soon as they turned their back, he was on them. I was like, crap, man.
the way I view it, it's very poor character development in the process. In the very end, the series finale, to show that part of the character. But I mean, look at it this way, that if you're battle hardened and you're ready to go into the front line of war, and you just watched someone you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with get their head cut off. I mean, Grey Worm is just full on like an adrenaline junkie. He's got rage fueling his every movement, every muscle in his body. This guy is pretty much in a take no prisoners hold, and he'll take nothing from anybody except from Daenerys herself. So he's more than happy to slaughter the people that would rather serve Cersei than Daenerys herself.
Yeah, but that wasn't really. That's not really up to them. That's not a. That's not a. I'll serve Cersei type deal. Yeah.
He was letting his anger consume him. That was the issue.
And that's something that that Tyrion told him. It's not for you to decide. You need to chill. But he told him late, and
so late.
It's like there's
so then Jon runs into Arya, right? And Arya's got that deer in the headlights look to her.
He don't know what she's doing there.
Nope.
Of course, she says, "Well, I came to kill Cersei, but it looks like your queen got to her first, right?" Now, Arya saw what happened. She knew what the deal was. She knew that was not protocol. We don't just burn cities down. That's not the move, right?
I mean, she almost got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, remember, Arya has all of these crazy assassin powers. She can become any person that she chooses to for the most part. We've seen her do it. She has all the ability and opportunity to take out this despot, totalitarian dictator at this point who has committed the ultimate genocide in her country.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. No, screw that. We're not doing that.
Totally cool. It's fine.
Because honestly, when we got to the teleportation scene with Grey Worm, I thought that was Arya. I thought that Grey Worm was actually Arya.
Yeah, because
okay, yeah, it would. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that Grey Worm somehow beat Jon to the destination. It doesn't make any sense.
Had the cutthroats in, get all the troops together. They all get up there before Jon do. Up all nice.
I mean, if we really want to talk about people just suddenly appearing out of nowhere, I mean, Arya sneaking up behind Jon at the top of the stairs there was like, where'd she come from?
Yeah, but at least we can say she got some kind of, she had learned self-technique.
She got ability.
Sneaky. Yeah.
On the Night King, past all his generals in the middle of a circle.
Yeah, we've seen her. We've seen her demonstrate these abilities when she got Walder Frey in the middle of dinner. You know what I mean? Like she has that ability. So her sneaking up on Jon was acceptable, but Jon. So then we get Tyrion, who is now going to confront Daenerys in the midst of her Nazi speech.
Because he's stupid. He went dumb. It's like
I would just left.
His whole brain power just ceased to exist. It's like what possessed you? Oh my god.
Now at this point, I'm still trying to figure out, for this person who swears up and down that she's righteous, she didn't have the heart to give her little speech in the common tongue. Oh no, sir. No. That had to be done. She had to speak, is that Valyrian or Dothraki, whatever language she's speaking.
Oh, yeah, no.
Valyrian.
Yeah, High Valyrian. She had to give this speech in High Valyrian because, there are still people that can hear her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I knew she was probably doing it because she didn't want Jon to hear, or Tyrion. I know Tyrion can kind of speak the language, but he bad at it. So I thought that's why she was doing it, just so Jon would know, because she was talking trash. The only thing he heard was that one word. He was like, "What? Winterfell? What?" She did his whole big speech and didn't do that. He's like, okay, she talking trash right now. He don't know what she's saying, but he knows she talking trash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I like how she used in her speech the words like liberate and breaking the wheel. Like, it was so sadistic just hearing her say it the whole time. And I was just like, oh, so you liberated King's Landing and you're going to liberate the North. You're going to liberate all the other kingdoms. Like, what are you going to rule once you liberate
just gonna rule a bunch of
ashes, apparently.
It's just ashes. Exactly.
You liberating dudes with no skin on their body, because that's what I saw walking into it.
I felt like from the last season up, it was just foreshadowing the madness coming out of her. I mean, I made a comment about this before to you guys. This is why inbreds shouldn't be ruling the country. That's all I gotta say. I mean, as soon as she started losing people really close to her very quickly, you could see she started becoming more demented towards the end. And the only person she technically had left was her dragon, Drogon. That was it. I wouldn't even say Jon counts, because Jon wasn't reciprocating the feelings that she wanted from him.
Nope.
So, and then the whole thing with her, with his family and telling the secret, I mean, that's all she had left. So, I clearly saw where the madness came from and how she responded, but I felt like it was still very poor character.
I feel like that was his insurance policy, honestly. Like, at first, when he first told, everybody, including Sansa, that, that he was a Targaryen, I was like, you idiot. But, like, just seeing her reaction and just her complete 180 heel turn, that was definitely an insurance policy for him, because if she was the only one that knew, she'd be like, oh, who else knows? Oh, nobody? Grey Worm. Dracarys. It's about to be over with.
And that's another thing that was very confusing, was Dracarys, and we'll get to that when we get to it.
Telling you, it would have been Human Torch, no Johnny Storm on him, boy. So, then we get to a point where Tyrion is now confronting her openly, in which he takes off his badge that signifies that he is Hand of the Queen, and he tells her that, basically he's done and he can't support this. And I understand that. And the only thing she can talk about is the fact that he released his brother, which is just insane to me. I mean, yes, that was definitely, it was definitely treacherous, and it was definitely treasonous.
But he got the job done.
He got them to, and more importantly, they surrendered, which is exactly what he said he was going to try to do. So even if you were going to imprison him or whatever you were going to do, or strip him of his title or whatever, killing him would probably have been, a bridge too far, which is why I guess she had them take him away instead of just doing away with him right then and there like she did Varys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to say, before we finish this off, when we were talking about Tyrion heading towards her, we forgot to say how first, before he went to meet her, he went to go find out if his brother and sister got away. And he finds the hand and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking that when he moved the rocks, that just the hand was going to beat her, and, they not beat her. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like, they just going to be gone. And I'm like, oh, crap. But
that would have been a better story. No.
Yeah, it would have been
Speaking of which, let's give Cersei and Jaime a little bit more respect than the showrunners gave them.
Yeah.
So, literally, we have maybe the most irritating character by design, the most irritating character from start to finish, die from essentially a cave-in.
Bricks.
Rubble.
And the person who had the most character development, arguably the most character development in the entire show, who literally has redeemed himself, has proven that he's more than just an idiot and a kingslayer and all of these things that he had been portrayed to be, and he goes right back to square one, reverts right back to being, the idiot that we all thought him to be in the first season.
Yep.
And, and I feel like those characters got done a disservice. I mean, among a lot of other characters, but especially Cersei and Jaime, they were not done justice. They were done wrong.
I feel like they got confused when they wrote him, because, they gave him a whole nother life. He had given up. He was like, look, man, I got this. I got my new big woman. You know what I mean? I got my life together. I'm happy. And then they were like, "Oh, wait, that doesn't work for us. So, let's go ruin your life real quick." It's like why?
That scene watching Tyrion remove the rubble to find his brother was probably one of the most emotional scenes for me to watch in the series because of what they discussed in the last episode before Tyrion released Jaime to let him run to Cersei to protect her, that his brother was the one person who didn't treat him like a monster. You see that affection between the two, and it's not so much as the same affection you would see like in reality itself between actual siblings. They had their own way of doing it because their family was pretty messed up, but they still cared about each other in their own way, and that was very emotional for me because Tyrion, that was his family. It's gone.
Yeah.
And I was very upset with how they killed him off with Cersei like that. Like, he should have stayed in Winterfell. Like, he should not have gone back for her. And the way that he took on Euron Greyjoy in the last one and leading all the way up to his death and all that, it felt completely pointless. Like, I don't even know what they were thinking about. Like, if they were trying to bring in the audience, they did a very poor job. All I know is I felt Jaime's character dying there, he should have died sooner because he died not the man that he should have died as. Like, he was having such a good development and they destroyed it. It was sad. It was sad to see that. So, I mean, Tyrion, you just look at his face as he's developing throughout the series, like, he's just all sunken in. Like, there's no life anymore. Like, everything he thought he was fighting for is gone and Daenerys destroyed it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, like Jacob was saying, Jaime had the most turnaround of any character, and Cersei, to be as bad as she was and the crap she had done all them seasons, she's supposed to not get a quick death. She's supposed to get some messed up death. Like, it's not like, imagine, I can't even think of any movie or TV show where somebody just bad and they get a quick death like it. Like, something have to happen to them, at least let them get a little pain or something, because all the suffering, everybody just wait for it. It's like some release for the audience. You're like, oh, finally, like, she got hers. Even if she would have fell out of a building, at least like you watching the camera, some what is it, Die Hard style. She falls off the building.
Been the
oh, like your boy Hans Gruber.
Yeah, like like at least she's scared to death and she knows she's gonna die. She hit the ground or something. Nope, it's just like rock fall, and then we didn't even see it. It just cut off, and I was like,
it was awful. It was like they really dishonored both of the characters. I mean, even people.
When I saw Tyrion go in and like look for the bodies, when I saw how much rubble actually fell down there and none of it was near the dragon skull, where I was like, so they just stood there and let it fall on top of them. Like, they didn't try to hide in the dragon skull knowing that it would have saved them, they would have had a chance, or they didn't try to move to a different spot. Yeah. They just gave up. I was like, I'm so done. I'm done. I'm over it. I was like, that's crappy. That's very poor.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like, legitly bad.
Yep. So, so the soldiers, they take Tyrion away, of course, and put him where they're gonna put him. And at this point, Daenerys is rolled up on her new throne, which is there, and she's touching the Iron Throne, and she sees it, and it's there. And then you get
the only thing left.
So
that part bothered me so much. It's like all this and your throne. It's there's nothing here. What are you doing? Oh God, Go ahead.
Doing.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
One quick thing before we continue.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of how you had Jaime and Cersei and all the rubble, and I noticed that too. I noticed that there was like a whole cave that was perfectly fine, except for that one place. And then when I saw Tyrion dig them up, and they were actually there, and Tyrion was crying, the reason that I could not feel anything was because to me none of this is real. It's almost like I wasn't watching something created by George R.R. Martin. Does that make sense? It's like it was not anything I've been watching for so long. So I couldn't feel anything towards it because I was just like, this is really bad writing.
You were disconnected from it.
I disconnected completely from it, which is why I was so pissed. But yeah, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to.
You have a point.
Yeah.
So we get a nice scene of Jon having a discussion with Tyrion, who is now a prisoner. And so prisoner Tyrion is now sitting here. And the best way I can describe that whole exchange is
that whole
is basically recapping.
Crap. Sorry.
Hit the mute button on that.
I'm sorry, I'm trying. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to get somebody joining the call in just a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, looking at that whole exchange between Tyrion and Jon, you're basically getting another situation in which another senior advisor is begging Jon to do what must be done. But at this point, it's not the same as it would have been. It's now basically, I need you to sacrifice your life in order to put her down.
Yeah.
Yep, because I wasn't brave enough or smart enough to figure it out before. Again, not the Tyrion I know.
Yeah, which I don't know what point they made him where they just, was it season 7 where they just started talking trash about him, talking about how stupid he is now or something? Because
yeah,
I remember when I started hearing, I was just like, what? I was like, he's always been
he's
calm, cool, and he's smart, but like he ain't the smartest person there, but he ain't stupid. Like, and the way they've been doing him in this season, especially, like any chance they can take, they be talking about how stupid he is. He ain't as smart as I thought, and I'm like, what the world is going on?
Well, this was his breaking point. I mean, we saw it. He's finally broken. Like, he did not see the outcome of this fight happening like this, and he pleaded to both sides for there to be no bloodshed.
Yeah,
and there wasn't just a little bloodshed; it was ashes to ashes everywhere, and it just that's Tyrion. Tyrion has a heart, and he was trying to negotiate and do whatever he could to save both sides, even save Cersei in a way. Like, as much as he hated his sister, he didn't have the capacity to want her dead as much as their own father. I mean he was open and hard enough to even forgive her for all the things that she has done.
Well, and even save the baby. We were talking about that last week. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just foreshadowing that into this because what else is there left to do? Daenerys won, and now she's imprisoned him, and it's like all his effort was for naught. So his last hope is Jon pleading to him that I am not strong enough to do what is necessary, and I'm hoping that you will be the one to do what is necessary and convince Daenerys to stand down or do the task yourself and eliminate her before the 7 kingdoms are also in ashes. And it sucks because he thought of himself as being a genius, and he doesn't see himself as a genius anymore because she didn't listen to him.
That's true. I mean, so you know, there are some definite words that are, that are basically put out there, and you have Tyrion basically saying, "What are you going to do when she turns when she turns this army on the north?" And Jon gives this half-hearted, non-Jon Snow answer, which is basically that it'll be okay.
Yeah, she's his queen. It's her choice to do as he wants.
Right. Like, and that's something he would never have said.
Yeah,
never in a million years.
Like, they're just doing completely bad. Like I say, just
Bruh,
really
this
bad
is the
writing.
same dude that betrayed his first love in his life. Betrayed her.
Yep. For the Night's Watch.
Oh crap!
You all right?
We lost somebody. Somebody just perished tonight.
It was a sad day for.
Think Arya got me.
Is D&D coming after you talking all this trash about this show?
Yes, I'm talking about my brother like this.
Oh man!
How dare you?
Ain't feeling that too tough. So we got that whole scene going on, and then he mentions Tyrion is like, well, if you won't fight for the North, what happens? When she comes after your sisters and your brother.
Exactly. That scene, that part right there.
Yeah, that's when he left. Like, he was like, okay, I got to think about this real quick. Because you're right. She's going to come after Sansa.
Because Jon deep down cares about his family no matter what. Like, his family is going to come first. Like, he's tried to protect his family from day one no matter what's happened. I mean, remember Battle of the Bastards? He did whatever he had to do to save his younger brother. In the process of failing, he still fought because he still had family. That's Jon's character deep down. Right. He will sacrifice himself no matter what to protect his family. And that's very honorable in his character. It never broke. I was happy about that. It never broke. So Tyrion playing on that's what he had to do. And I was happy about it, so.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done it dumb like that though. That's the part that is like.
Just wouldn't even had to been something that would have been explained to him. He should know the way she acted, and that he definitely knows she don't like his sister, like Sansa. He 100%
telling them like it. I don't like this girl. Like,
yeah, she straight up tells him all the time. Like
she does. She's like, yo, sister. Like, she keep coming up to him like that, like one of those girls that you're dating. She's like, yo, sister.
You need to check her.
I'm not like the way she's cutting her eyes at me.
Before I go over there and beat ass. You have the. She was too mad at Sansa, boy.
She's gonna have to check your girl.
I want to know before you move on. I want to make sure you remember before you go into Jon going to see Daenerys that we don't forget this scene of that dragon coming out of the ash. I'm guessing that's supposed to be ash, ain't it? Because I know it's
no, it's snow at that point.
You think it's snow? I thought it was ash.
It was ash in the beginning, but it turned to snow. Remember, winter is here, so. Yeah.
Yeah, but then let's skip to the end when they were going across the wall. You seen how much snow was like melted and stuff, like not the wall, but on the ground and stuff like that.
Which didn't make no sense because winter is here.
Right.
Well, I think winter is here is supposed to have been just that's what they were saying for the bad guys. I don't know. That's the way I
No, winter is literal like winter, and it's supposed to last for years. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying. I mean, that could be the case, but I'm saying yet again, that's something that they messed up on their part because when they went there to the wall and they open up the stuff, it's snow on the ground, but it's that snow after it snowed and it's over and it's kind of melted up a little bit.
That's slush.
Yeah, and I think they even showed like a flower or something growing at one point.
Some greenery, which I noticed.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. I don't think it's snowing.
Ow.
I think
what is that?
I don't know.
Stop it.
I think that was ash. That's what I thought it was.
Definitely.
I don't know, man. Like, I was thinking, because this is now speculation, and I don't like doing that because I feel like it's the writer's responsibility to, write a proper story that I don't have to sit and speculate about. But if I did speculate, and it'll probably be a better explanation coming from me than those writers. But I feel like because the Night King is dead and the White Walkers are no longer a thing, that maybe the North is less cold.
That's what I was.
That would not be a good thing.
Right. Well, that's not the point. The point is that that's my explanation for it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. As soon as he got killed, that was my number one thing. I was like, oh, they ain't gonna be cold no more. They just, I mean, obviously gonna have your seasons and stuff, but I thought the whole winter is coming. I thought that was just like a metaphor for the devil. Obviously, it's cold, and I remember them saying like they knew the winter was gonna be really bad this coming thing or whatever. But I just took it as being the Night King coming, like he finally about to come through and
Well, it's supposed to be the endless night, and it lasted one night, so it wasn't that endless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we for some of us that went back and were rewatching from the beginning before this season came out, recapping back to the snow, the ash falling, all this stuff showing up, that Daenerys did have a vision of her future and what was going to happen, and she did see herself walking through the throne room of King's Landing and nearly touching the Iron Throne. And it was snow. Like you could see it falling through the roof, and it was like in her hair and everything. It looked like actual snowflakes.
Yeah, but the reason I thought that even that scene you talking about was ash is because that building was messed up, and
it was messed up, just like it was in the final episode.
Which I just took as her destroying stuff. It's supposed to just be like ash. Like I say, we can probably, because for whatever reason they didn't do one of those episode talks after the episode like they usually do. They boasting about how happy they are.
Because they can't explain that crap.
I know I would have. I just wanted to hear what they were going to say about that part, because I know they're going to be like, "Oh, check out this scene right here where the dragon comes out. This is cost a bunch of money right here with this ash or snow coming off." And I'm like, "Okay," but I was
that was a straight up Dark Souls moment right there.
Yeah, and I was gonna say another reason I didn't think it was snow is because nobody was dressed like it was snowing. But yet again, it could just be bad writing, and they forgot to put them on some winter clothes. Because remember, Grey Worm, I think, walking around sleeveless. You got John just had on he didn't have no his fur coat on or nothing. He got on regular clothes. Daenerys got on her regular whatever. Like everybody was dressed just normal.
True. So one of the best scenes in the episode, on a positive note, was John approaching the castle, and all of a sudden the ash or snow or whatever we're gonna say it is,
we don't
just starts moving, and then it's Drogon under looking like a boss.
Because he is boss.
Then he's like, okay, you can pass. You all right.
He smelled him and he was like, oh, it's just you. Right.
It's Mama's boyfriend. That's Mama's boyfriend.
Don't touch my Doritos and don't touch my mama.
Don't be eating my fruit snacks.
You know what I'm saying? You better leave my juicy juice alone.
Oh my Lord.
It was so, I'm sorry. That and then they allude to the fact that he's also a Targaryen, which because the dragon won't hurt him like at all.
Yeah. But they didn't even use none of that. Like this where it come from again, them bad writing. They never used him being that other than to just tell her, which made her mad, which made, Dany mad in the first one of the many things supposed to so-called made her go crazy. Because he's like, hey, I can get that throne. Well, he ain't said, but that's what she took it as. Like, you the rightful, heir to the throne. And they never did anything else. He ain't like fireproof. He didn't use it for no special thing.
Like, no, he wasn't. It's almost like they were telling you how special he could have been, but never will be.
Yeah.
They treated him like a black man.
Oh,
damn.
They treated him so poorly. It's like, what is wrong with you?
So we get a really tender scene with Daenerys and Jon, in which they're, he's basically pleading with her, doing everything he can to reason with her about how the war's over and how everything, can be okay and we can move forward if you just stop this. Whatever this is, whatever this whole let's burn everybody thing, you just got to stop. Because Tyrion made a good point when he talked to him. He's like, people that think that they're doing the right thing absolutely would do anything that they feel is necessary because they feel like they're right. And, I feel like even though it was kind of ham-fisted in a way that, she basically said exactly what Tyrion said without knowing what he said. I feel like they could have worded that a bit differently so as to not make it sound so awkward.
Yeah.
But, she basically proves Tyrion right. And so you can see that Jon now knows what he has to do.
Yeah, I was kind of saying yet again. I hate that. I know we say this every episode where I'll be like, "This is not that man's writing." George R. R. Martin's writing, because he wouldn't do tropes and stuff, which is any movie. He got a scene where they're gonna start kissing, or somebody fighting, and then they do the scene where the gunshot go off, and nobody don't know who shot or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just like, why are they doing? As soon as I seen this, I know what's gonna happen. Like, this is stupid. Like, everything they do, you can just like guess. That's why I hated it. I think it's when I started hating this show is when they stopped following him, because then I started being able to guess stuff, and that's bad. Like, you just, I don't know. You can go ahead. That stuff be irking me. Like,
I feel that.
So we had a barbecue yesterday to watch the final series with my group, and when we were watching that scene, all I could think was someone needs to give Jon his balls back, and I think they're in Drogon's mouth.
I mean, what you gonna do if they are at that point?
I mean, this dude needed to grow a pair back really fast. Like, that whole scene was really pathetic with him pleading with her. Yeah. I'm like, dude, she's not going to let up. And it was really sad. And then, he's like embracing her and everything. I'm like, he had a better relationship with what's her name?
The Wildling.
Yeah. The Wildling.
Yeah,
Ingrid, and then Daenerys ever did, and he did not look that upset about it compared to Ingrid. And I was just like,
Ingrid my was his first and only love. Daenerys was not his love, and I had this conversation with people. I was like, they are not in love. People were like, yeah, they are. I was like, they haven't even had any time together. They met each other. She made him bend down, and then all of a sudden they had sex. I was like, it don't even make sense. Like, how you in love with somebody? Like, it's just trash. Yet again, bad writing.
Like, I love you. Like, no, you like me.
Let alone knowing that she's your aunt, and there's already Jaime and Cersei screwing, and nobody's really approving of it. So
that's the one thing I'm glad that they actually did, that they didn't mess up on writing. Which is, I knew as soon as he found out, I was like, he's never gonna touch her again, and he didn't. Like, I knew he won't. I was like, she gonna keep trying because she used to. That's in her blood. But he like, I'm a star. We don't do that up here. He like, I don't know what you're doing over there in the South. He's
exactly.
Like, in the North.
He's like, I am the son of Eddard Stark, whether you like it or not, and
we don't do that.
We don't do that over here.
He said, that's some of that down South stuff y'all doing right there. He's like, I ain't with that.
In them hills.
So I knew something was gonna happen as soon as he started kissing her, because he didn't want nothing to do with her at all. I just knew it was about to happen, and I was just like, good. And that was like, how long was that in the episode? Wasn't that like 15 minutes in or something? They took her out.
Oh, it was a good 20 minutes in.
Yeah, they took her out quick, so I was like, good. Now we can get to some other stuff, like.
Yep, and then they treated him like crap, and
then we have another huge time skip. No, I'm just kidding. We have a scene where the dragon comes.
Oh yeah.
And now here's another part where I had a big problem with. So
here we go.
Now this this dragon comes up because he can sense that his mother has been done in.
Hey, Mike.
Right? Hey, what's happening? What's happening, y'all?
Hey.
What's good, Michael? So
Hey,
Michael has joined the chat. So now we are at the part where where your boy has stabbed the Queen of Dragons in the heart, and the dragon comes up, and we get to see this dragon, and and like I said, I don't even, if I hear the word subvert expectations one more time from one of these fools, I swear to the Lord, don't let me find you at a con or at any public event. I'm telling you, I'm gonna catch you slipping because I'm not tired of it.
You gonna have expectations on you?
Subverting expectations is the new bad writing. That's all you saying. All you saying is that we got lazy and we didn't really want to put too much effort in it, so subverted expectations.
Yeah. Well, look, I want to have this conversation with y'all before we actually talk about what that dragon did. Are these dragons on this show supposed to be smart? Are they just animals? Are they telepathically connected to her? Because I got some reasons why I say if somebody said they connected, like they smart or connected to her, it's stupid and don't make sense. And if they try to say they're dumb, I'm gonna say it's some scenes that don't make. I don't know. It's yet again.
Think of the dragons like puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like if you ever had a dog, and the dog been real close to you, the dog, when you're sad, the dog knows, and when you're happy, the dog is happy too, and stuff like that. Think of them like that.
Yeah. Well, I made a joke to my buddy because I was talking to Cody while we were watching it, and he's a gun nut, and I said, what this dragon is doing would be the same as if I killed you, I shot you, threw the gun down the ground, your dog come in, touch your body a couple times, then start attacking your gun. I was like, that's not gonna happen, and that's pretty much like what that dragon did. Like, it just had me laughing so hard.
Well,
but the throne didn't kill Daenerys, though.
No, and it was another piece of forced symbolism. First, we get the forced Nazi symbolism, and then we get this. If it wasn't for this stinking throne, my mom would still be. No, nigga, no. Oops, bad word. Sorry.
Oh yeah, look at you.
I've been holding back my utter disappointment.
Damn, you can't use that word, man. Let me know early.
You're always telling us not to say nothing. Look who doing.
I know, and look at me. I'm the first one to slip up. Oh man.
I know. I've been trying real hard to watch my mouth.
I
got the mouth of a sailor.
The only thing come out of my mouth is curse words, and I ain't saying one.
Right? I'm so proud of you.
I'm just gonna bleep this out in editing. I don't know why y'all tripping. It's not gonna make it to YouTube. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
People done heard you already.
He's gonna re-explain that part.
You know what?
That last part.
It's gonna be like them really bad TBS dubs where they got to dub over the curse words.
No, the BET dubs.
Oh.
You're gonna be like, get out of here, ninja.
Yep. You already know what it is. So, again, for symbolism, he don't roast Jon like he's supposed to. Because that's what I was looking forward to. I'm like, either Jon is going to get roasted and he's going to get burned alive, or he's going to prove that he's every bit the Targaryen that he's supposed to be. And he won't get burned. But burning the Iron Throne was just a waste of time.
Either that, or Bran warged into the dragon and was like, yo, bro, I don't even need that chair. I got my own.
I thought about that too. But then I was like, but then why do the Iron Throne at all? Why even go there?
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't even want to talk about Bran because I start getting excited.
Oh no. We gonna talk about old we're gonna talk about old 3-eyed treachery
Bran
over
the
there.
Broken.
But I can't cuss. Okay. It's gonna get increasingly harder for me here on out.
So you know what I'm saying? So we get all the way to this, the dragon takes Daenerys' lifeless body and flies off. And then we get the dumbest, stupidest time skip ever. Because now we have a situation in which somehow the Unsullied and Grey Worm are running things, which makes no sense.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Low-key, because technically Daenerys was the queen, right? And they didn't appoint a new ruler, and Grey Worm was the leader of all armies. So since like Daenerys is gone, he's low key the second in command.
Nah, that was Jon.
But what I would have thought,
yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem.
It can't be Jon because Jon's secret's not out.
Yeah, and he's a Kingslayer.
But he is still
Queenslayer.
He is the Warden of the North, King of the North, if you will. He is
true enough. And his people were still there. There was still a good number of Northmen left.
Yeah.
Bro, like Grey Worm took command of that whole army. I mean, the whole army. The North wasn't fucking with Grey Worm folk and the Dothraki.
Well, look,
they were following.
So here's the problem. Even if Grey Worm did take. Oh, go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say, because I hope you're gonna be saying exactly what I was about to say. When this happened, they did this time jump, which is why I thought it was stupid. Is because Grey Worm, he's super bloodthirsty. We was already talking about this earlier. Why, as soon as she dead and he bloodthirsty and he running everything, why ain't he just kill Tyrion and why ain't he just kill Jon Snow? It'd have been that's what he would have did. Like, it's no other reason for him not.
It didn't make no sense. And then here's the other problem. So we have an occupying force, that being the Dothraki, the Northmen, the Knights of the Vale, and the Unsullied, occupying essentially rubble, nothingness, ashes. And you're going to tell me that however long, how long did they say that this time jump was?
It was like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you had to feed these jokers with nothing. Because they couldn't get food from Highgarden because Bronn was the ruler of Highgarden. He's not going to deal with the Unsullied. You're not going to get food from Winterfell as long as you're holding Jon Snow hostage. You know Sansa ain't going for that.
Well, they had what's the name, the Ironborn or whatever, or whoever. Because remember, old girl was still effing with Khaleesi because she said she freed them.
Ironborn got less food than King's Landing. They never have any food. Nothing grows there. Remember, they have to steal.
Yara or whatever.
Really loud.
Yeah, Yara Greyjoy. Yeah, they don't have any food there. They have to steal to get their food.
Jake, your mic just like magically.
Am I botting?
No, you're just really, really loud.
Oh, my bad. I thought I killed that off a while ago.
Well,
it's my fault.
There was possibly an easy solution to how they were getting their food, but I mean, there's no way they actually did it. All I'm saying is Soylent Greens. That's
made out of people. That's right. It's made out of people.
I thought you were about to say something serious, man. Come on.
But it just, like I said, it just didn't make any sense considering the position that they were in.
Well,
nobody in the seven kingdoms was.
They did have enough cooked meat there, though.
You mean human meat, and they wasn't meat no more. It was just ashes. Everything was well done.
Said everything was well done.
Bruh, what's killing me about the whole thing is that, remember, essentially in King's Landing is a crappy position to defend because you're surrounded.
Okay.
Like, you're absolutely surrounded. Yara Greyjoy is the only ally you have because Dorne was messing with the North.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Knights of the Vale are down to Sansa, so that's not going to happen.
No, the Vale, what's the name? The Vale, your boy, old buddy that was breastfeeding until he was about, 10? He's still... Yeah, he's still in charge of the Vale. But Sansa,
and they're bound
Sansa's
to Sansa.
Yeah, that's Sansa's bannerman. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to help. The Tullys ain't going to do nothing to help anybody in King's Landing.
What's left of the Tullys? What, Sam?
No. What's his? That's the Tully. The Tullys are.
Tully.
Edmure Tully is Sansa's uncle.
Yeah.
That's old boy that got checked real quick.
Real quick. Sit it down.
Shut up! Don't embarrass us like this. Don't embarrass us like this.
Like, bro, ain't you the dude that gave up when Blackfish was trying to fight Jaime Lannister? Oh yeah, sit yourself down.
Yeah, bye. Thank you. Next.
Hey, bro, you don't sit yourself down. So, I mean, there was that whole thing of Grey Worm negotiating from some sort of position of strength didn't make any sense, considering that all of the lords, with the exception of one person, and that's Yara Greyjoy, was like, nah, bro, you're not keeping Tyrion, and you dang sure ain't keeping the King of the North.
You know what? I just put 2 and 2 together just now, bro. Sansa Sansa F's with Tyrion, bruh. So if they off Tyrion without any kind of negotiation, Sansa's bringing everybody to the battlefield.
She already threatened them. She was like, if anything happens to my brother,
we about to come in here and put foot.
She like, the North is already ready to fight, so keep playing.
Exactly. So realistically, Grey Worm was in a position to negotiate. He had no choice but to negotiate because he knew the Tullys was coming, the North was coming, the Dorns is coming. Like they
ain't got no dragon. They have no dragon anymore.
So they got horses.
You got a small army left over the Unsullied against the Seven Kingdoms about to rain down on you.
That wouldn't be so bad if they weren't in a position where their backs are literally to the water.
That's what I'm talking about.
All the other armies would have had to do is build encampments around the city and just starve them until everybody died.
Be like, what? Do you want to live or do you want to hand over the two people? Your choice.
Yeah, you got choices, fam. But again,
I'm pretty sure that's why Grey Worm didn't off him. Because I mean, you saw how he offed them other cats like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like Jon Snow and Tyrion, they hold a little more weight than the Golden Army.
Oh, true.
That wasn't even the Golden Army. That was only
that was only Lannisters. Yeah, because the Golden Company got destroyed already. Early.
They got burnt.
They were a non-factor.
Well, then who were the last folk that was on their knees then?
That was
with the Lannister army. If you look at their armor, they got the lions on the side.
I got you.
Yeah, and they just murdered them. Like those were the first guys. They were the first guys that dropped their swords. They were like, "You right? We don't want to defend this woman. She's crazy."
Again, but I think we need to acknowledge one simple fact. None of Jon Snow's siblings had his back. Can we just acknowledge that?
Like, in what regard? In
the regard of, we literally have a super assassin who can look like anybody and walk past people without them noticing, and is the master of all master assassins or whatever. And the time that we needed somebody killed discreetly, the time we needed somebody off,
you didn't have to do it yourself.
Where were you at, fam? Nowhere to be found.
Because remember, Arya was sticking to the code. She was sticking to the code. She was only killing folk that was on her list. Cersei was on the list. Khaleesi got to her first.
Code? What code? She don't care about no code. The code was you supposed to stay.
The list.
She was supposed to stay her lily white butt in with the faceless men. She wasn't supposed to go nowhere. She don't care about no code. The code matters to her
doesn't care
when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that.
Look, all I'm saying is if I go out somewhere and I learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu at a dojo, if I feel like I know everything I need to know, I'm leaving that dojo, bro. And I'm throwing hands with
everybody.
That's not how that
like that UFC fight. They got beat up.
So in the books,
how the men work at all. Like, you die if you need to leave. Like, that's how you die.
So you got the books in which basically her leaving was not the same way that she left. Isn't the same way that she left in the series, okay?
Okay.
And there's a reason that she couldn't leave the way that she left in the series in the books, because the faceless men don't play that crap.
Right.
Okay? You walk out on the faceless men and you're going to meet one of them at your door, and they're going to say, Valar Morghulis, and then stab you in the stomach, and that's it.
Yep, that life is over. But to be honest with you, I mean, let's not even talk about her list. She'd be steady adding people to that goddamn list. I'm sorry. Dang it.
Y'all just going all out tonight, ain't you?
Because this episode was infuriating. It's like everything that made sense and should have happened didn't.
Camera.
Oh, my camera's on?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to figure out how to turn mine off. I was trying to figure out.
Are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I got it.
Yeah, he got it.
So, real talk. This whole ordeal could have been solved with her just sneaking into the empty throne room and stabbing her.
She could have looked like whoever,
Yeah, she could have looked like whoever and blamed it on whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been Grey Worm. Should have went up there as Grey Worm and did it.
Yep.
She should have played him.
Yep.
She had a She definitely wasn't taking any shit during the meet. Oh, sorry. She wasn't taking anything from anyone during the meeting. She
It's a charged episode. It's a really charged episode.
I told you, man. It's so smart.
Greyjoy. You're a Greyjoy. She was like, talking about how she stood behind Daenerys the whole time. And then Arya pops out nowhere. She's like, "I'm gonna slit your throat."
Yeah, it was talking.
And also, that didn't make too much sense anyway, because her brother literally died. He died saving the Starks.
Yeah, yet again, I think the writers are fools, and they don't know what they're doing.
It's like that. It's like that meme where it's like we were hoping people were gonna forget about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like this whole episode season in general was kind of like, I don't care. I can't care less about what you're saying right now because nothing that you're saying makes sense. Therefore, you guys are just basically bad fan fiction at this point.
Pretty much.
Like I can't take you seriously because.
Yeah. Well, we should have known that it was going to be trash can. When the long night was literally a goddamn one night stand. Like, we should have known what that was going to be.
But but come on, we knew that was only going to be one episode. Come on. When they hit us with this is going to be a longer episode, we knew that they were going to bunch that into just that episode.
The smart thing would have been to extend it to 2 episodes, kill off the standoff at King's Landing, and have the people literally throw Cersei out of the Red Keep. That would have been the move.
No, bro.
Many things except for
the move in the Night King, the whole Night King episode. The move would have been to turn up the lighting. The end.
Turn up the lighting. Take the Starbucks off the table.
Bro, I spent 15 minutes adjusting my settings until I finally went online and saw that I was not the only one having that problem.
Oh man, so you was tripping. All right.
Yeah, I was, man. It was stressful. Like, what is going on? I know I'm not that woke.
He had that moment with me and that Jamie when they cut Jamie's hand off, and I was like, something's wrong with this stupid thing, and I kept restarting I kept going back and restarting the episode. I was like, something's broken.
Oh my god!
But I mean, real talk with that whole Night King episode. The way that this season has come together, it shows a real lack of appreciation for the fans, and it really shows a lack of appreciation for the material. Because I mean, look at how many screw ups. There are people that they hire on sets to make sure that there's no Starbucks coffee cups or water bottles like in the last episode, or that the lighting is properly adjusted. All of these things are quality control issues that if you cared about your show, you would have taken care of. Remember, it's not as if they just filmed this and it just got finished. This has been done for at least 8 months.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate, right? Do you think that people are noticing these things because this season is being more what's the word? This season's been, I don't want to say speculated.
But what's the word I'm looking for?
Thank you. The season's being more heavily scrutinized than the last season. Maybe there were mistakes in the past seasons, but we just didn't notice them before.
The real fans.
Normally, I would agree with you.
It's people that's like freaks about this show, and I think they would have caught it before. Like, it's people that's dedicated to that. That's all they sit there and do.
Normally, I would agree with you, but I saw the Starbucks coffee cup when I watched the episode the first time. I just thought I was
like for example, right? Like, for example, I watched a video not too long ago, and they were talking about Game of Thrones mistakes, right? And they were talking about the Red Witch, and you remember when she took off her necklace, like, she turned old, right? In one of the seasons prior, she was walking and talking without that necklace, and I didn't see any online outcry about that.
Okay, well, that's a different issue. That's what I mean by there's quality control issues that are small things, and then there are quality control issues like literally we had an entire episode where it was so dark that you couldn't see what was going on. You know what I mean?
We tripped about a coffee cup, but we talking about a necklace that is the difference between somebody being younger and older. And I didn't see any outrage.
Again.
Take it off, put it back on. It's taking it off.
Yeah, they make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, making a mistake is one thing, but that was
they do those.
That coffee cup was an immersion breaking error. You understand what I'm saying? That would be like, remember, they're in a fantasy medieval setting, and that would be like somebody leaving McDonald's fries just sitting there. Like, it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, that breaks the immersion. That breaks the entire situation.
Bran went and got them, bro. He wore it to the future.
Okay, wait. So, in the Red Woman's defense, she had used, because that stone is her power. So she has used that power so much that she reached the end of her power at that point. That's probably why she took that stone off, because it was pointless now. It had no more power left. And that's where she just turned into dust because.
No. Okay, okay.
He's saying a bunch of seasons ago she didn't have her necklace on, but she was looking young. He's saying it's like a mistake that they made and forgot to put her necklace on, maybe in the scene or something. But
again,
like I say,
we're still talking about these people like they had respect for the source material in the first place.
I think the whole point of people going crazy about the cup and the water bottle this season is because it's showing that they don't care. It's like that's something that, people, they make these episodes, they go through them over and over, they have to make sure stuff right, light and all that crap. Somebody would catch it, but stuff do slip by, like, people having guns in a different hand, or some weird thing like a hood is on and a hood is off.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate again. Right? I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry. But this season, like, by what they were saying, was the most strenuous season. I mean, they were working long hours. Is it possible? Is it at all possible that, like, bro, they were just so tired that, like, just the smallest things got by because they just
even if that was the case, right? Again, this has been done for at least 8 months. You had 8 months to edit out that. You could have edited it out in post. There was no reason to keep those particular scenes.
That's true, but you're talking about hour and a half worth of episode. You know how much footage is involved in that? They're editing and they're keeping it moving. They're not going back. They edit a scene, they get the takes that they want, and then they keep it moving. It's not like, oh, we're gonna, edit it, watch it. It's like, yo, we edit it, we look at it, we see if all the acting's good, we see if the camera angles are good, we keep it moving. Something like a water bottle that could get by anybody that's been sleep deprived, man.
Okay, and that would be all fine, well and good. All fine, well and good.
And this is just devil's advocate.
No, I agree with you. That'd be all fine, well and good if this was the CW. That'd be all fine, well and good if this was CBS. It'd be all fine, well and good if this was sci-fi. But this is HBO, and they are asking you to pay for this. That is my
exactly. You pay for this quality, and they give you this, and it's like, what? They're losing subscribers real fast.
Don't out yourself. Don't out yourself now. Fans is listening. Don't out yourself.
No, I support, man. Like, I support Game of Thrones in all its glory.
There you go.
I'm kind of mad I did though at this point. So, like, I can't believe they did that to my people. I'm so mad.
Your people?
Yeah, they massacred my boy.
My people. I spent 8 years with these people. 8 years.
That's right.
This is my crew.
9 if you count the year that they didn't put out no Game of Thrones and it was all Westworld.
You're right.
I didn't even check that. I didn't even want to tease myself.
Westworld is actually pretty good, but then again, I don't know anymore because
I don't know. The last season was kind of shaky, but we'll see.
There's no one pressing y'all. There's no one pressing y'all.
Yes.
No, I love the first season of Westworld.
Yes, the second season great.
No, Westworld is good. I don't know about Jacob's opinion on it, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm saying that the season 2 was weak.
Yeah, it was a little bit more. They took the.
Well, I'm gonna have to find something because I can't. I gotta.
Oh, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
It's a show void now. It's a show void. It's 8 years of my life gone now.
Do yourself a favor, though. I'm telling you for your own good. I know you're not gonna listen to me. I know you're gonna do what you're gonna do. You need to skip that Watchmen, fam. I'm telling you, it's a mistake.
Oh no, you didn't have to tell me that, bro. Like I finally, for the first time ever, watched Watchmen 2 months ago, and I still haven't even finished it. So I'm good on Watchmen.
It was awful. It was awful.
Oh yes, and this show is gonna be even worse. I'm telling you.
I ain't gonna have
good on it. I am so good on it.
Y'all gonna be trashing Watchmen.
Man, the book is great.
It's gonna be Star Trek Discovery bad.
Man.
I don't know because I haven't seen Star Trek Discovery and I've heard good things.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
okay, let me ask you a question, and this is on the record, off the record, on the record.
Okay, if the question is, do I find that black girl fine? Yes.
No, we all do. Sonequa Martin Green is super fine. They ain't got nothing to do with that.
Like, that's
what I was going to ask you was, the people that told you that Star Trek Discovery was good, are they blurs or are they just regular old nerds?
You see, I've only heard it from like 2 people, and they are blurs.
See?
Yep, there it is. They can't be. Their opinion is already skewed. It's already. You know how we are. You give black folks anything that mildly has representation. We gonna eat that thing up.
No, because first of all, so one of the blurs told me that the what was it? What's that stupid ass?
Orville.
Or excuse me, yeah, somebody was like the Orville. I'm like, get out. Get out.
Nope.
The Orville is actually good.
Get out.
Yeah, it is.
Get out.
And I'll tell you what I mean. Without spoiling anything, I'll tell you exactly what I mean.
It's not all of Star Wars.
The first few episodes of the Orville are Seth MacFarlane weak crap.
Yeah.
But
I give a show 3 episodes and that's it.
Then you're not gonna be able to finish Star Trek Discovery. You already done failed.
Is this episode really saying that Game of Thrones was so bad that now we talking about all these other shows?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I don't
know. No, it's not bad though. But it's not bad though.
What's not bad?
Y'all think it's bad?
What's not bad? What's not bad?
What do you mean? What's not bad?
What's not bad? What's not bad?
Have y'all ever read / seen Gone Girl?
I think what is Gone Girl?
Gone Girl. Have y'all read / seen Gone Girl?
I think I've seen that movie.
Girl, right?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that movie.
Okay, see, Gone Girl. I read it before I saw it. Right? Check. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I've ever read a book or seen a movie or whatever where the climax was in the middle. Mm-hmm. So like the rest of the book kind of seemed like it was pointless, but at the same time it was pertinent to what was going on, what happened in the climax. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what happened in the last episode of Game of Thrones. The climax happened in the middle.
Plot holes for that.
Well, I told Jacob before. I told Jacob before we even got in this, before we even started this discussion, that the best 2 episodes of season 8 was episode 1. And I'd say this episode 6 right here, because I mean it's got some holes in it and stuff, but I was happy with a few things, and those few things was good enough to say it wasn't as bad as episodes in the middle of 1 and 6. Like 1 and 6 was probably the best ones, especially 1, the first episode. That's probably the best one.
I feel like what does it for me, big time, what does it for me this season. The social interaction. Never have I ever seen so many people talk about one show, besides like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but that's another thing.
Yeah. We ain't talk about hot garbage, all right?
Like,
I mean,
one hot garbage at a time.
Right,
but never have I ever seen such social interaction about a show and the mixed opinions that were available online. Like I mean, I saw plenty of people on my timeline like trash the show, but like I say my little piece, and
keep
of course
moving.
I keep it moving. Of course, some people agree, some people want to butt heads with me, but I'm like, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to tell you this is how I felt about it. And like, well, that's still trash. Bah. I'm like, okay, whatever. You feel how you gonna feel, but my thing for this season. And it's always going to be my thing for this season was expectation. That is all it is ever going to be for this season. Is a lot of people expected whatever they wanted to expect from the season. And some people got what they wanted, some people didn't get what they wanted. But this is what we get when we have a show that's like, you know what, we're just gonna keep pushing without the book.
I mean,
now see, here's my issue with that, because I agree with what you just said. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here like you had because they threw R.R. Martin, you know, out, and they were like, you know, we're gonna do it our way. But you had the writer, the mind behind the creation of this, and this creator said, I would like the show to end like this, so my book could end like this. And they said, well, we don't like that idea. We're going to do it our way.
But you got to think, but these are the same writers that had to redo the very first episode. They wasted $8 million on the first episode because the folk that they presented it to did not like it. They had to scrap that and redo it. These are the same writers. These are the same creative minds.
I mean, I agree with you, but these are also the same creative minds that sewed Deadpool's mouth shut and gave him Cyclops powers and X-Men Wolverine. Yeah. So I mean, do you really want to go on their clout, or do you want to walk away from it?
No, I'm sticking by the expectations because we're pretending like these guys haven't effed up before. Like that's.
I mean,
that's okay. So we're supposed to accept crap and get crap.
No, I don't think that's what he's saying.
Like, no, but yeah, exactly. That's not because like if you deemed it crap, it's because of what you were expecting from the show. That's right. That's my stance on it.
And here's my counter argument for that, because I've been reviewing shows and video games for a long time. And I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't go into this with any expectation other than what was already set up. And what I mean by that is, if this show had been mediocre from the beginning. Fine, I don't care. I probably would have enjoyed it. I probably would have enjoyed it still. My problem is that you go from a show of the highest quality,
one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
you're right. The fans didn't come from nowhere.
No, let them finish. Let them finish.
I'd say within about 2 seasons or so, you take all of that goodwill that you had built up. You take all your credit that you built up with these fans. You took all of these good things, and you start making rookie mistakes. Like I say, it didn't start with a water bottle, and it didn't start with a Starbucks cup. You know what I mean? This lack of quality and this let's just get this over with started last season.
Yeah.
But do you know what it did start with? Oh, go ahead. No, you're not finished. Go ahead.
Now, I understand, as a person that likes anime and manga and things like that, I understand fully what happens when you run out of source material. I get that. But never in the anime or manga community has a creator handed the people that are doing the adaptation all of the notes and said, here, this is where this should go. This is where this is supposed to go. This is the things that need to be incorporated.
And they completely don't listen.
Exactly, and I'll tell you why we know that happened. Because there are literal characters that are integral to the book series that aren't even in the show whatsoever.
Did you not see Death Note?
Of course I saw Death Note.
The live action Death Note?
Nope.
No, we don't talk about that. No.
Exactly.
We don't talk about live action.
Yeah, we don't want to talk yet. No, see, but that literally smashes, completely destroys that argument because that's what happens when Hollywood gets a hold of some bullshit. That's what happens. Or excuse me, when Hollywood gets a hold of some stuff, that's what happens.
But that's a that's a different set of circumstances. That's literally them trying to. Well, no, just hear me out.
Yeah, because Hollywood.
It's a different set of circumstances because they're trying to adapt something that is foreign to them that they don't fully understand. The people that did the Netflix Death Note movie didn't understand what they were doing. They didn't understand what they were dealing with. Benioff and Weiss, D&D understand very well what Game of Thrones were because they pursued George R.R. Martin to even make this thing happen. They understood
but the thing is, they read the book. They never even heard of it, read the book, and was like, we need to hit him up. It wasn't like they sat with it for a minute. It wasn't like they soaked it in for a while. They literally sat there, read the book for a couple days and was like, yo, let's do this. Like, they didn't appreciate the lore. They didn't go back behind the scenes. They didn't look up any source material until they started it. And that's like I said, let's not act like those weren't the same guys that started and had to scrap the first episode.
Yeah, but this is what I know. I understand completely what Jacob's saying. All right, what happened is, what he was saying is that they've never had anybody do this, like the anime adaptations and stuff. Didn't have the actual guy. Imagine if they had that Dragon Ball movie that came out. What is Dragon Ball Evolution? If they would have actually had, what's his name?
Let's not talk about that.
But I'm saying this is to make a point. To make a point. Imagine Hollywood would have had Toriyama there and say, "What do you think we should do? Should we get this actor? How should this scene look? Should we have Goku going to high school or something?" He go, "No." They go, "Okay, thank you," and they listen to it. They had George R.R. Martin, and he would tell them stuff specifically, and they just go, "Nah, we don't like it," and go about their bit. You're like,
exactly.
This is,
but do you know how flawed this is?
Because I got the book.
But do you know how flawed this is? It's so flawed because George R.R. Martin doesn't even know how the book is gonna end. So it's like he gonna sit here and tell me.
Okay, people keep saying that. I think this man and always had to end. It's no way he haven't. This man ain't writing the books. He ain't writing the books. You're like when the first come out, 93, he out with it, and then came out the 194 right out. He ain't writing these. He has all the stuff plotted out. He just have to get it all in there. I think,
bro,
he's always had this done. That's why he told them what was gonna happen. He's ahead.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, ultimately, this actually doesn't even need to be put at George's feet, and it doesn't. I mean, to a certain extent, it's his fault, but it doesn't need to be put at his feet. And to a certain extent, it's not even D&D's fault, and I'll tell you why. Because ultimately, the person that had the power to make this season 6 episodes or 60 episodes was HBO. You follow me?
Yeah, I got you.
HBO, the ones who said they wanted. No, they the ones who wanted more seasons. D&D said they didn't want to do that.
Well, you know why that was the case. That's what I was trying to get at. I was trying to set the trap. You just, you hit the trap.
You didn't have to say it's Hollywood, bro. It's Hollywood.
Go ahead.
But no, what I was getting at is that the fact that they didn't want that many episodes, knowing that they had made the pile of money that they made from Game of Thrones, you have to understand the climate. And we talked about this before when we talked about the Marvel movies. There was a climate that happened before Game of Thrones became what it is today on the HBO network. The HBO network was dying. They were canceling shows left and right. This isn't the first show that they've done this to that had a promising beginning and then floundered at the end. And True Blood, what? No, exactly.
Oh my God.
Carnival, exactly. They've done this multiple times. This isn't the first time they've done it.
What was that old Western show that they had?
Oh, the one that had Ian McShane in it. Deadwood.
Deadwood?
Deadwood.
Yeah, Deadwood.
They messed that up.
So this isn't the first time they've done this. You need to watch it all up until the second to last season and then quit.
Okay.
So this isn't the first time they've done this. You know what I mean? So my thought process on this is that they were in a weakened state before they got a hold of Game of Thrones. And now they got on top, they smelled victory, and you have two forces that don't want to do the show anymore. D&D got a whiff of that Star Wars money, that Disney money, and they want to get out of Dodge as quick as possible. And you got to remember that these episodes are pushing 1 million an episode, if not more.
Yeah.
So HBO's like, well, we are making money and we're getting headlines and people love this show, but it does cost a lot of money. You really think that they didn't do a whole season because of Brexit? They didn't do a whole season because they couldn't afford Westworld and Game of Thrones simultaneously. That's why they spaced those two things out. And I guarantee you that when this dumb little Watchmen show comes out, they're going to do Watchmen, then they'll do Westworld, and then they'll do Watchmen again the following year, because that seems to be their new marketing strategy, is trying to make people wait 2 years for one season of television, because they think they got it like that. They think they can do that to the fans and manipulate them, and people will come back.
Yeah. And
see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. When we talk about expectations, I don't think in certain regards, I can tell you that in certain shows there are expectations that are unrealistic to the material being given, but I don't think that's the case here. I think that the case here is that there was an expectation of quality, and then there was a network that got greedy.
Big facts. That's definite facts. But all I'm saying is that, like, there was a list that came out and said, you know what, this last season is going to come out. These are the 22 episodes that you need to watch before the last season. These are the people saying 22 episodes out of 7 seasons are the only ones that matter.
Was it 22? I thought it was less than that. I thought it was like in
maybe like 19, like 19 maybe.
Like maybe.
So let's say 19
to 20. Go watch those.
Yeah, like I was gonna do that too. I didn't get around to it, but are you telling me that out of 7 seasons only those episodes matter? Why are we sitting there complaining about writing?
Because
we need to complain about writing because even the actors themselves couldn't bring themselves. These are actors. These are people that are played to portray roles, and they couldn't even lie to the press with a straight face on. Kit Harington literally, lady asked him, say, "How do you feel about the end of the show?" Disappointed.
You talking about Emilia Clarke's reaction?
No, Kit Harington gave the first one in January, where they asked him point blank. They say, how are
you could describe the ending of Game of Thrones or the last season?
How would you describe it?
In one word.
He went from joking to deadpan serious, and he was like disappointed, and then tried to recover because he realized what he had said.
Or great, whatever. Whichever.
But what if this is an inside joke between the cast? They're known to fool around. Well,
when they interview Emilia Clarke later, this is not even in the same venue.
Yeah,
they ask her. It's like her, the actress that plays Missandei, and the actor that plays Grey Worm, and they're interviewing them all together. And they're like, "Hey, how excited are we for the end of Game of Thrones?" And immediately Missandei is like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be great." And then you have the guy that plays Grey Worm like, "Oh yeah, awesome." And then she just kind of like falls into herself and is like, best season ever. Like she's like really weirded out by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point her script, she had an advanced copy of the script that wasn't privy to the lesser characters, so she knew what was about to go down.
Well, there's a quote by her in a different article saying that she would fully support replaying her character as Daenerys and remaking season 8 if they ever want to do it. She's like, I would hop on that team real fast.
No, then they have the Mark Hamill moment, and I call it the Mark Hamill moment because nobody can represent for the fans like Mark Hamill did during The Last Jedi. Yeah. But they have a moment where they interview Peter Dinklage, and he goes off about what they did to Tyrion. Because whether you like this season or not, you cannot disagree that they turned Tyrion into a drooling, blithering idiot for these 6 episodes.
Yeah, they didn't do him right at all. Now I want to address this, you can't disregard all the seasons just for this one bad season. I would like to know how you watch movies. Like, do you watch like a good fourth of the movie and then just say it doesn't really matter what happens at the end, or are you just good with a good most of the movie and then you just walk off and say it's okay?
If that's the case, then Captain Marvel was the best movie I've ever seen.
See, because it was garbage. See, so you can't just take away the ending and say, well, most of the movie was pretty great.
Well, I don't even think you have to go there, really.
Most of the movie was actually terrible.
Oh, I know. I know.
But carried that movie.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't really have to go there. There are 6 fantastic seasons of Game of Thrones, and I can say that confidently. I can say it confidently all day long. I can say, if somebody says, Jacob, would you recommend me watching Game of Thrones? I'm like, season, just like Darth, when he say, hey, can I watch True Blood? Yep. All up until second to last season. Go for it. Go nuts.
But that's terrible, though. But that's terrible. That's literally telling somebody don't waste their time with the show because you want to finish the show. You want to have finality. You want to have closure. So you sit there and tell somebody
to watch it.
They can make their decision, but I can't lie to them. I can't tell them, oh, yeah, it was fantastic from start to finish.
But you have to have that disclosure and say, I didn't like the last season. Don't say, oh, yeah, it's cool till blank. Like, you got to be, I didn't like.
So let me ask you a question. If somebody asks you, hey, man, should I watch The Walking Dead? Like, I don't really know anything about it. Are you going to tell them to watch the whole series?
Great example, because I literally just had that conversation today. I said, bro, I watched The Walking Dead I was like, I was a stan for The Walking Dead. Complete stan. I said, I haven't watched it in about a season or two. I said, it's become too Hollywood for me. This is a drama. I don't even know if they're even going by the comics anymore. So I was like, so if you want to watch The Walking Dead, watch The Walking Dead. But personally, me, I can't deal with it anymore. And I used to be a stan.
And that's exactly what I would say for Game of Thrones. Bro, I have a Stark ring. I don't think you understand me. I am serious about these here thrones.
Serious
I'm
about
sorry, I ain't heard the answer because I got a call in just now. I was saying, did he say when I said, did you recommend it to him or you didn't recommend it to him?
No. I said when I talked about Walking Dead today, I said I am a complete stan.
No, I heard that part, but I'm saying you still never gave me an answer if you said go ahead and watch it or don't.
No, I said I said you can watch it if you want to. Me personally, I don't watch it anymore because it became too much of a drama for me, and I don't even know if they even reference the comic books except for the folk that are I can't remember their name right now. The folk that are that they take the walkers.
Oh, the whispering people.
The
Whisperers.
Thank you, the Whispers. So I'm like, that's like the only reference that I know from the actual comics. I was like, but other than that, I said personally, I haven't caught up. I'm like a season and a half behind, maybe. I was like, so if you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it. But for me, I kind of like checked out, and I'll probably get around to it when.
And that's my point, though. That's exactly what I'm saying. So when you're looking at a show like Game of Thrones, that, like I say, those first 6 seasons were quality. They were masterpieces of television. If somebody from the future came to me and said, Jacob, I need you. No, somebody from the past came to me and said, demonstrate to me what this thing called television is. I'm like, sit down. I got 6 seasons of television for you. We about to watch it right now. Right now.
That's terrible.
Right? And then they say, oh, okay, well, what happens to Jon Snow and the rest? I'm like, well, you can watch that on your own, player, but
about that.
Well, we could pull the Walking Dead theory into Game of Thrones, where Rick's just in a coma the whole time. So when Jon got killed off in season 4, he just like was dead the whole time, and it was just all in his head.
Don't say that.
Don't make it worse than it already is. Come on.
But like I said, I guess that's my point. I'm not going to tell you that the season was. If I had to rate it, if I had to give it a solid rating, okay, I would give Game of Thrones season 6. I would give that I'd say a 6.5 out of 10.
Season 6.
Oh, I'm not 6. Season 8. My bad, man.
Okay,
I'm stuck on 6 because that's all I can think about right now. So yeah,
all right, Blake.
Yeah, season 8. I give it a 6. 6.5 out of 10. Like I'm not saying that it's god awful, but I'm not going to lie and be like, oh yeah, it's the best thing ever.
It is god awful. It is.
Nah, 6.5 out of 10 isn't god awful.
No, I meant
like 6.5. Like 6. Like okay, full circle. Now, if somebody was like, yo, I got a girl I want you to meet. She's a 6.5, though.
Then she might have a good personality and a messed up face.
And you still wouldn't go out with her because I know you.
Look.
See? There it is.
See? Yeah, there it is. Right there.
Look, y'all talking to a man that's used to Game of Thrones being a 9 out of 10 every season. Okay.
I can't even say that.
When I say 9 out of 10, name a show, name any show. I will sit here and wait. Name any show that came close to the quality of storytelling that Game of Thrones came to.
Close, like like literal, like hands down storytelling.
Yes, like literally sitting there handcrafting a story that kept you engaged from start to finish.
From start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Power.
Game of Thrones, that's hard.
Power.
That's even hard for me to.
Power? Oh, God, you're going to make me use the N-word again.
Power. Yeah, Power. I've tried to watch it. I don't think it's it. We talking about what 50 Cent wrote, right? Like
Yeah,
that show trash.
We talking about that Ninja Simulator Power. Yeah, that's what we talking about.
Start to finish. I'm engaged. Every story, start to finish.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Do you think Power is better than The Wire?
Power is better than... I can't... No. Help. No. What?
Okay,
no.
then. There we go. Okay. I needed to find out who I was dealing with. I'm like, whoa, let me...
credibility. No.
Let me pull back real quick.
Yeah, like, no. Don't do that.
I was like, I know he's falling. It's a trap. Don't answer that if you just... Yes.
Because to me, that's why I can't watch Power. Because I've seen The Wire. And The Wire is 1,000 times better.
I separate the two, man. Those are two different shows to me. Those are two different shows.
Then again, I'm not really one for crime drama after crime drama, so that's probably why.
Like, I'm the type of person, because like I don't associate with that lifestyle. I enjoy it because I'm like, damn, I don't never have to deal with that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh no.
It's like, man, I'm so glad I'm nowhere near prison.
Bruh. But my point being is that you can't, even if you enjoyed this season, if you're looking at it objectively, there's no way that you can get this anywhere above an 8 as far as quality is concerned, especially if you're comparing it to the other seasons.
But let's take it down to the bottom line that a lot of times when shows are written and stuff happens to characters, it's never going to be a group majority, or anonymous or unanimous, that everyone agrees with how the story should have happened exactly. The problem that we're having is that pretty much everybody is agreeing that this whole season has been disasterific.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it. It's not just a few people. If it was just a few people, that's different. But it's a lot of people agreeing.
Yeah, even when the paid-off media agrees that this season was weak. I mean, we're talking about the people that get paid to say it was great, and they can't even do it. You got a problem.
Exactly.
I've seen mixed opinions. So I can't even say that.
I wonder how many fans there are of Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, because yet again, something else me and Jake was talking about. All those people that signed that petition, even though it ain't gonna never happen, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is a lot of people.
That's a lot of hate right there. That is a whole lot of hate. Like, it's not a little bit of hate. It won't 5,000 people or something. It's a ridiculous number.
Let's put that in perspective, Drew, actually. So more people in less amount of time signed the petition to redo Game of Thrones season 8 than signed the petition to recast Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Think about that.
Well, because you have to think there are a lot more women on her side.
I don't think so. I don't really think that there's a lot of women by her side, just based on the fact of how that movie did.
Because if you signed,
her movie had more dudes that saw it.
Bro, if you threw out a petition and said, "Yo, recast Black Panther," I'm not signing it. My blackness won't allow me to do that.
I mean, I wouldn't do that just because I think Chadwick Boseman is the dude for the job, honestly.
I didn't hear anyone ever say they should recast Black Panther as far as I know.
No, I'm just saying, though, Black Panther was for us. Captain Marvel was for the women.
Nope, don't.
Nah, don't. Nah. Wonder Woman was for the women. Captain Marvel was an atrocity.
Wonder Woman was DC's for the women movie. Captain Marvel was Marvel for the women movie.
No.
I mean, yeah, from a marketing standpoint, you're absolutely correct. It was
exactly
designed
look at what day they released it on.
Yeah, International Women's Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, no, wait. Okay, hold on. They released it for the media. They released that movie and they created it for social conditioning. They did not release that for women. Okay, that was
okay. Let me give you some context before you say anything. Let me give you some context because she is right.
No, go ahead.
Captain Marvel was originally supposed to come out when Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. Ant-Man and the Wasp was supposed to come out this year. They switched it because the test audiences did not like Captain Marvel. The movie that was shown to them, they didn't like it. So they did extensive reshoots and they crafted a narrative around Endgame and around International Women's Day to make a mediocre movie do better than a mediocre movie had any right to do. So from a marketing standpoint, you are correct, Michael, that is exactly what was supposed to happen as far as it being quote unquote for women. However, it was only for women because it was a failure by itself. Now go ahead.
All right, so my question is, if it ain't for women, what was the purpose of Captain Marvel?
Because they couldn't let DC have one up on them.
I asked that question I asked that question with the movie Endgame in mind. And the role that she played in Endgame. What was the purpose of Captain Marvel?
She wasn't supposed to be in Endgame at all.
There's that.
So with that being said, what was the point of Captain Marvel?
She didn't.
It was to make a bunch. It didn't have a point. It was literally to compete with DC. It had nothing to do with anything else.
So that means they made that movie for
money
for themselves.
No, stop. They made it for money because DC made that movie
for the critics.
No,
women. It was women. Y'all playing. Y'all know what this man trying to say. Answer that man.
They made that movie for women. Stop playing,
bruh.
The only reason that I disagree with the idea that they made it for women, I feel like they made it for an idea of women. I don't think they made it for any actual woman that actually likes that kind of material. You know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying like this movie is only for women. I'm saying that like the movie is like, of course, female empowerment and all that. Yeah. The messages in the movie are definitely about female empowerment. Like, you know, saying, oh, she's for most of her life, she's been like doubted and knocked down and she, get back up. This is that, you know what I'm saying? And now she's strong. Yeah. Like, it's the idea of empowerment. I'm not saying it's only for women, but it's just that was the tone that movie set.
No, you're definitely right about that. Like I said, I have no argument for that.
Females in general. And as a female of a minority, I am a minority. And as a minority, that is the most offensive bullcrap I have ever seen. Because first of all, Captain Marvel, his name is Monica. She is a black woman. Okay, that is the original Captain Marvel. So you give me Mary Sue with some shackles, like she's some poor woe is her, nobody understands her. Get all of the F out of here, first of all. So you not only took and you put Monica in the movie. She is a little girl, so now she got to look up to the white lady, right?
Wait, hold on. I thought Monica was next up. I thought Monica was next up.
Okay, hold on. Let me give some context before this goes too far.
Because Captain Marvel. No, like originally Captain Marvel was a DC property, but they didn't copyright it or whatever.
No, hold on. Let me help you out. Let me give you some context before this goes too far. Captain Marvel, the Captain Marvel you just referred to is Shazam. That is that Captain Marvel.
But it only became Shazam when Marvel took that name from DC.
Yes, but from a canon standpoint, that has nothing to do with nothing, and I'll tell you why. So the Captain Marvel that has everything to do with the storyline that's being presented is Mar-Vell. Okay, Mar-Vell is a Kree and he's a man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Mar-Vell and he was Captain Marvel for decades. Okay, now Monica Rambeau is also Captain Marvel, but she has no connection to the Kree, nor does she have any connection to Mar-Vell. She was her own hero. Okay. Now, with that being stated, Carol Danvers
is Miss Marvel.
Was Miss Marvel. Her being Captain Marvel is an invention of the last 15 years. Like it's relatively new.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the whole Captain Marvel thing is like it's like Captain Marvel, low key, like real talk, was DC.
Right.
If you go back,
not like I said. That Captain Marvel's a different animal altogether. Has nothing to do with nothing.
In the same universe, that little girl in the movie, that little girl you saw in the movie, is supposed to be the original Captain Marvel. So basically, the movie should have gone like this: Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. Little Carol Danvers walks up to her and says, "You're awesome. I would like to be like you one day." Then she goes into the Air Force and blah, blah, blah. See, you took and you reversed the roles. Why?
No, okay, I feel what you're saying, but Monica, literally, if you talking canon and comics, all that, right? Monica came after the fact, literally. Mar-Vell.
No.
Not. Okay, I don't want to say after. I want to say adjacent. Let's say adjacent.
Yes, adjacent in the idea that this was the 70s and Monica Rambeau existed in the 70s.
Yes, there we go. That's what I want to. I more so want to say. Yes, adjacent.
In this.
Now, with that being said, Monica Rambeau has always been a Marvel property. Now, the problem that I have, and that a lot of blurs should probably have with this, is the idea of, and Drew, we talked about this last episode, but we'll touch on it briefly, is the idea that Marvel, from a movie making standpoint, decided that they were going to use the white Captain Marvel, okay? Even though there was a perfectly usable other female Captain Marvel who would have probably been received better, they decided to do that. But then the insult to injury is, even if that was the case, which is their right to do, is to decide which character they want to use, they then make a narrative in which the original Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, is now subservient or being mentored in a way by the white Captain Marvel, which is completely antithetical and backwards.
Yeah, it's insulting. I'm sorry.
If I want to play devil's advocate, though, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and this is look, bro, I don't back down for nothing. All right, social media doesn't stop me for shit. I mean, excuse me, crap. But
dang it!
I'm sorry.
Can we live?
I cussed up a storm earlier. No, yeah, I was like, oh my god. See,
go for
it. All right, so the next Spider-Man movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
They speak of the multiverse,
right?
Does it low key set us up for the universe? Was it 616? Was that 616? Is that what it is?
616 is the main Marvel universe.
Exactly. So that means that Captain Marvel is a part of that said universe. No. Is that the only reason why they went with that Captain Marvel? Is because that Captain Marvel is a part of Universe 616?
No, because Monica Rambeau is in 616 as well.
So she is in 616. So yeah. Okay. So with that being said, it's kind of tough. It's I don't want to say tough, but they did what they did. That's literally what they did.
You're right.
They did what they did.
Like I say, man, for everybody, if you're in any of the blurred groups, and I love you all, but for everybody that's really excited about Falcon, for instance, being the new Captain America, I would hold my expectations until they give him an actual movie, which they won't. So
they have a TV show.
They give him a TV show.
I feel like this is a test to see how well he holds up. You know what I'm saying?
They don't need to test anything. Black Panther literally outdid every white counterpart that he had in his solo movie.
Yes, but
there's nothing to test.
The star power though, the director Ryan Coogler, Ryan Coogler is
let Ryan Coogler direct a Anthony Mackie led Captain America.
But no. See, the thing is, Ryan Coogler is the type of director that specializes in our culture. You know what I'm saying? So of course,
I agree.
Ryan Coogler had to be the director of Black Panther, because if it wasn't for him, it was going to be what's woman dreads.
You're talking about the lady that did Selma. Oh goodness.
Her name's on the tip of. It's on the tip. I see your face, and her name is on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, she's light skinned. She has dreads.
Yes,
Ava DuVernay.
There you go. Because she turned it down. She originally turned it down.
Thank God, because Wrinkle in Time was hot trash. Anyway,
so with that,
but no, you're missing my point. I'm not saying that they have to do it any sort of way.
That's
what I'm saying.
But that's what you're asking.
No. Just listen to me. I'm not saying they have to. What I'm saying is that Marvel. I'm saying Marvel does this thing, or they like, as of late, they like to do this thing where they claim this. Yes, they like to claim this level of diversity that they're, oh, look at us, we're doing all of these diverse things. Look at we're with it. We're woke, right? No, you're not woke. You're pretending to be woke, and when it comes time to prove that you're actually diverse and inclusive, again, Anthony Mackie gets a TV series.
But check this out. I'll go as far as this. Stan Lee wanted it to happen. I don't think anybody else in Marvel wanted it to happen. Stan Lee wanted it to happen because Stan Lee was a part of the process for Black Panther. He was a co-creator. You know what I'm saying? And Stan Lee, if it weren't for Stan Lee, Black Panther wouldn't even be made. Wouldn't even gotten the shine that it got.
I mean, you'll get no argument from me. But remember, Stan Lee is not the head honcho of the MCU. Kevin Feige is.
All right. I want to take a moment of silence. R.I.P. my man. I love you, Stan. Broke my heart. Go ahead. What's that?
You were silent for nothing.
I had to take a moment. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now.
No.
I don't even know where to go from there now. I don't even know where to go from there.
I ruined everything. Go ahead.
I ruined everything. Golly. Oh my God.
But
honestly, like, if we're gonna do a Falcon, right? If we're going to do a Falcon, are we gonna do a Falcon for us, or are we gonna do a Falcon? Because Black Panther was definitely for us.
Oh no, I would want, if we're gonna do Captain America or Falcon as Captain America, I would want him to be for everybody. I'm not saying that he be the only hero in the movie. I would welcome Bucky being in the movie or whoever you're gonna put in the movie. What I'm saying is that you're not gonna get a Captain America movie starring Anthony Mackie, is what I'm saying.
No,
I would be very surprised. I would be super surprised.
Hell no. That would not go over well with America. No. So I mean, honestly, so that's why there needs to be a TV show. Like I said, a test to see where what the temperature is. Because if the TV show does well, hey, we in there. We can take this to the big screen. But I mean, right now, the way things are, Captain America. Think about Captain America, a black man.
What's wrong with that? It's already been done in the comics.
In the comics, like them Hicks ain't reading.
Like I say, man.
That's like okay. You shut up.
I mean, at this
here's
point,
the thing. Like I say, even with Black Panther, we showed up, didn't we? We all showed up. The fans, the real nerds, the black community, the real actual nerds that love that character, regardless of what their color was, they showed up. Did they not?
Big facts.
So My thing to Marvel would be, you can show me better than you can tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro,
so that's all I'm saying.
I was all the way in there. I was actually out for an anime convention, and we went to Black Panther before we hit the anime convention, bro.
That's what's up. Oh man. But yeah, guys. So let's give our now that we've derailed all the way, let's give our final reviews. I already gave my numerical review for the last season of Game of Thrones. So everybody else who wants to go first.
Ladies first.
No.
We're all gentlemen here.
Ladies first.
What?
I feel like y'all putting me on the spot. That has nothing to do with being ladies.
Nope. We respect your position in this group.
Oh Lord.
Now I want to know what that position is. Hold on. Hold on, Dan. Okay. Game of Thrones. Are we doing out of 5 or out of 10?
Out of 10.
Because if it was out of 5, man, Jacob would have thought this show was amazing.
Oh, you know it.
Oh my god! Okay,
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 9. Come on.
Already masculine.
You gave it a 9? Okay. Big 9.
Are we talking about the
Big
season
9?
or the last episode? Which one?
Yeah, that's what
overall.
The season.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
overall.
the season?
Just
yeah.
Oh, just
we're not talking about the whole.
In a Soldier Boy voice, the season.
Shit. I give it a 5.
Yeah.
Whoa, lower than me? Dang.
Out of 10.
Right, now.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there for the characters. They had their moments. The ending to it all, I was very happy with a lot of the characters, how their characters ended at the very last scenes, how it all played out. But a lot of it needs to be redone. Like I'm not satisfied with how everything turned out, honestly. But it kept me going. Like it kept me wanting to watch it to the end, because if a show can make you do that, then that's where it counts.
If that's his reasoning for a 5, then I guess I'm giving it a 4.5. And the reason I say
y'all are wilding.
Wait.
Dang, bro.
Wait. I have a reason for my 4.5. Okay, for the season.
Daenerys had a reason for burning down the city. That don't mean it was right.
No, she didn't. No, she did not. There was no reason for that. I can tell you why I don't like the show. I didn't feel like I was watching the show anymore. I didn't feel like I was watching my characters anymore. I felt like they were all just sitting around, just effing around, just saying, hey, what if we do this? Let's do it. Yay! It happened. It's like none of that made me feel like I was watching the show. I just felt like I just kept seeing the writer instead of the story. I never saw the story. I saw the writers writing a bunch of crap, but I did not see a story in there. So that's where I was not engaged at all. Like the last time I was engaged was when I saw the White Walkers. That was the moment where I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. After that, when the White Walkers were gone, that's when I checked out. I was just like, I don't know if I want to watch this anymore. Like I was kind of like, if I watch it, great. If I don't, that's great too. And I've never felt that way about Game of Thrones before. That was the saddest crap ever. Like I couldn't just sit there and be like, I'm excited to see this. I'm kind of like, oh, I gotta see it all the way through. Oh, yep, this is happening. So for me, I was no longer engaged after the White Walkers were over, because there was nothing to engage me. I just wanted to see if Jon took the throne or not. And the way they did my boy Jon, they can go all the way to Helheim. Because I'm done with it. I was done a long time ago.
I feel you.
All right,
if I were to give it a score, man, if I were to give it a score, I would give the show a 7. A 7,
okay,
no,
that's fair.
7.5. No, 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5, right? Because whereas a lot of people were really upset about the story, I felt like there were a lot of elements that didn't need to be there. Episode 2, we could have done without episode 2, to be honest. Because, I mean, everybody was... No. Yeah, episode 2, just like the build up to the battle. Everybody was like, oh, you know, Brienne's a knight now. But that didn't serve any kind of significance but to just say that, okay, she's a knight now. Like, and then what? Like, nothing. They were all talking... Oh, no, we got some good memes out of episode 2. That was just like basically about it. But you know, the giant's milk. We got the giant's milk out of that. Oh my god! And then on top of that, episode 4. Honestly, low key didn't really need episode 4. Not only that, Brienne didn't need episode 4. She had her virginity took.
But she came out in the house coat though. She was chasing Jamie in the house coat in the winter. What's up?
She said, please stay with me. Episode 2 and episode 4 were the unnecessary episodes. They were filler. They're like anime. Like if people are out there watching Game of Thrones and never seen anime, those are fillers. Those are definite fillers.
That's real. That's facts. That's facts.
Bad when you got fillers like when your season is 6 episodes long.
Exactly. That's what made me so upset about the season, because like people were like, oh, what'd you think? And I'm like, nothing happened. What do you mean, what did I think? Yeah. So I give it a 7. Yeah, so I give it a 7.5 because they animate us. They hit us with 2 fillers in a 6 episode season. I'm done with that. Yep. That was lazy. The first season of The Walking Dead didn't even have fillers, bro, and that was like 6 episodes.
You're right.
So Drew. they hit me with that BS.
What you on, Drew? What you thinking?
I don't know if I can really rate it because you know me. If I watch something great, a show or a movie, anything, and all the seasons are great except the last one, or I watch a movie and the last minute of it is trash, I'll throw the whole movie away. The season.
Yeah, so I know you will.
I think I'm just going to say I'm not going to rate it because I'm going to give it a really bad rating, and I'm just going to say I didn't see season 8. It's bad. All right. I'm going to give it.
Man.
You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect that, fam.
I'm kind of with Drew on this.
So we have a 7.5, we have a 6.5, we have a 5, and then we had what did you give it back?
4.5.
Well, no,
a 4.5.
Terrible.
That's for the season, right?
Yeah, for the season.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, Drew's the one that throws the baby out with the bathwater, bro.
And we had an abstainer. He abstained. Okay.
Very, very poor character development.
So now that we got our ratings out there, what do y'all think about Bran being the king of Westeros, or the king of the 6 kingdoms? That don't even sound good.
Don't get me started, man.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done.
Why? No, look, you didn't like my memes?
Honest. Look.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Bron.
Me doing Bran.
Broken. I would give it on the. What was it called?
Wait! I can read this to you.
Okay. Hold on, Drew about to give it a number. Hold on, we got to hit this.
Okay, Drew,
what is it? I won't give a number. I was just saying I'm actually okay with him doing. Like, I know people mad about it. I don't really care, but I'm like okay with it because he ain't gonna be a piece of trash. But it seems like he ain't gonna do nothing either. He just gonna be there. Like, it's just kind of his council, the ones who are gonna be really pushing everything. Like, he's not doing anything. Like, where the dragon at? He was like, oh, I'll go check on it. Like, that's what he gonna be doing. Everybody else is handling business. And this dude doing all the stuff. I heard somebody saying it's like,
oh my god.
Why is what now? I couldn't hear you.
It was like, why do you even need the dragon? Like, what's the point?
I mean, I don't think it was so much as needing the dragon. They're just keeping an eye on it.
Just in case the dragon start wilding out, they'd be like, yeah, we got to go kill this thing.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
So
go ahead, Saudi. Tell it.
Tyrion goes, the king shall be Bran the broken. Bran goes, yeah, actually, just Bran is cool. Tyrion, Bran the busted up. Bran goes, okay. Or Tyrion, Bran the really legs no freely.
It's like you couldn't just call your boy Brandon Stark, like his government name was.
I know that is messed up. Right? Just like call him
first of his name.
I thought. Well, yeah, he is the first of his. There ain't nobody else named Bran Stark.
Yes, there is. His name is Brandon Stark. Like his uncle that got roasted by the Mad King.
And before that, it's Brandon. Who is also a Stark.
Big fact. Yeah. Look, he's the first because he's not crippled, okay? So, or they weren't crippled. So he's the first. That's his crippled name, all right?
That's his crippled name. Oh my god.
Is Bran the broken?
All right.
He broke his leg?
They could have just called him Bran the Three-Eyed or something. They just some name. They just messed him up.
It doesn't matter. He's not first of his name, damn it.
They didn't say first of his name. They said first of his lame. That's what they said. First of his lame.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
No, what?
Oh my god.
Fix that in
like the next meme over it was like, they address how Sansa kept talking about his
his non-working dick.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No.
Yeah, it was messed up. Like, she couldn't wait to throw that out, man. It's like
because she loves spilling the tea, boy. She loved that.
I'd be like, I ain't even think nothing about that with him. I thought maybe his legs was just messed up. I was like, she just threw all that out there. I was like, dang, dude.
It don't even work, bro.
I don't even think he interested in women. I don't think he interested in anybody, even if it did work.
Look, you know what? She's the last person to be talking that crazy because she smashed her brother. So I don't even get out of here.
Wait a minute. Oh.
We talking about old girl, Ironborn, right?
No, they talking about
Sansa.
No, okay. I was about to say,
It don't work.
Yeah, okay. I
got no chill at all.
Zero chill. Zero. The Queen of Winterfell has zero chill.
Big facts.
So him being king, I felt was like the biggest fade that he could have ever tossed everybody that did him wrong. Because I feel like that's what he was going for. Because if you notice, he knew the future, and yet he was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, Theon. You got it. Turn him on lightweight. You can take the Night King. I believe in you." Like
he was messed up. He was definitely messed up.
If you look at it this way, he just used Theon as like a gap because he knew Arya was coming. So he's like, well, Theon's got to kill time for me before he gets.
Well, he could have told Theon to at least go up and try to fight him. Don't run straight over and get stayed. He could have just mess around with him, dance around him a little bit or something. Nope.
The only words he had for Theon was, "You're a good man, Theon, because you're about to die." I can already see Bran. Bran was probably like, "Hey, man, you remember when you came for me and my brother at Winterfell?
Yeah, remember you burned from 2 kids said that was me?" He's like, "Yeah, you about to get yours."
Mm-hmm.
He did. He eliminated all of his.
Then he looking at Jaime Lannister. Jaime's like, "You forgive me?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgive you, dog. Just wait till." You remember when you threw me down that tower? Oh, wait till the bricks fall on you.
That's all he gonna say. Watch your head. He go, huh? He go, nothing. I've got to go.
True.
He tell everybody a little bit of just a little enough to make him go, what the? And then he white out his eyes. So I gotta go.
So speaking, I want to take a moment back. A little humor, probably the best moment of the episode. Back when you're talking about who to elect. A bunch of people got the biggest kick out of watching the uncle stand up and try to vote himself
I've been in 3 wars.
as the ruler of the 7 kingdoms. He's just going on and on. I fought in 2 wars and such and such. And Sansa just comes out of nowhere like, "Uncle, just sit down. Just sit."
Yeah, it's like Edmund or Tully need to go and sit himself down somewhere.
Yo, Tully, they hold Tully Tully so crazy. He's like, "Yeah, let the people do it." And they just busted out laughing like, "Well, if you don't sit up."
Oh yeah, Sam boys, they laughed Sam completely out of existence.
Well, that's why I didn't have a problem. I was gonna say that's why I didn't have a problem with the water bottle being right there with Sam, because he's bringing stuff from the future. He's bringing democracy, and then he brought that water bottle. So I ain't see no big deal.
Y'all thirsty?
Like, why don't we elect the president? Oh no. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let me just take a sip of this water.
Out of my plastic cup, my plastic bottle here.
Y'all know nothing about this. We got this in our kingdom.
He had old girl from The Witcher with him.
I wish they would have had what's the Vipers? What was that? His nephew or something?
He was there.
No, I'm saying I wish they would have had him talking or something.
Oh,
and also
no, that's too much like right, man.
I don't even think they gave him a name, fam. Come on.
And then also, they could have had their cousin, whatever his name is, the one who up north with them. His mom used to suck on the titty. I wish they would have.
What is his name? His last name Aaron. His last name is Aaron.
I thought that was his first name.
No, his son. He's the son of John Aaron. His name. Lysa Aaron's son, and I cannot remember what his name is.
That milk did his body good, man. He's grown up. He's grown up now. He's sucking.
I was like, what happened?
Sucking on other women's milk producers now.
Oh my goodness!
Tormund about to tell him how it's done.
Yeah, come up here. You suck on a joint. He'll be like, oh.
He said, "You drink milk too, man." I mean, look, man. The whole when he was like, "Will you take the throne if we elect you?" And he was kind of like, "Why you think I'm here, bruh?" Like I'm just sitting here like, I'm sorry.
But you couldn't give us no hints about Danny going crazy or nothing. All them people didn't have to die. He goes
because if he did, then he wouldn't get the throne. Like to me, I was like, "You're the worst king."
You probably could look at it like that too, but I've heard somebody talk about how Sansa is the one who was making a bunch of stuff happen, and then that Bran one too. I heard some people saying some stuff about Bran maybe letting all because he just let all this stuff happen.
I didn't see any of that. That's what I didn't see. So whatever they speculating, I don't care because it wasn't in the show.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's what people are saying when you were just saying about him being the worst. That's what I've heard people saying. They're like, he cool with it. He just like let it happen. The same way Jacob was saying the Theon thing. It was like, dude, you could have let him do something else. Him just running up and getting stabbed. That's kind of messed up.
Every enemy that he ever had is dead. Anyone that did him wrong is dead.
Just say it one more time. Just one more time.
Jesus Christ. Dead. Get it.
Dead.
Deader. Deadest.
Dead it did.
They're down. It's like I'm sorry, but I thought we were trying to pick a good king.
Oh my.
I was so over it. Like when I saw.
Who would y'all have picked? Each one of you, who would y'all have picked out of all them people on the stage?
Jon Snow
to be the king or queen.
Jon Snow deserved to be there. I mean, honestly, it should have been him. And
no, only the people that was there on the stage. Nobody else.
Nobody needs to be the king except for Jon and Daenerys. Like,
his name is Robin Aaron, by the way, or Robert Aaron.
The little boy.
Oh, he was named after Robert.
But I'm saying from that stage, because
all those people on stage are scary as hell thinking about being on the throne.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bran, even though that show, like I said,
I would have given.
I think Bran is the best.
Actually, Arya would have been fun.
Because
no, sir, no, absolutely not.
No,
I would have rather Sansa be queen than Arya.
Like I said, I think Bran was the best choice from everybody up there because he don't care about anything. Like he ain't like he wants money. He don't want anything.
Bruh,
he don't.
Me. Oh, his man are dead.
You keep saying that, but I'm just saying for real. If you look at him, he don't care about none of that. Like he ain't even got no job. Like I said, it showed that his council is doing all the work. He's just like, I'm going to go do this. He do not care about nothing. So it's probably even better that he got a group of people making decisions instead of one person. Like I say, it's just kind of like democracy. They going and they actually talking to like, hey, we need to do this. We need to build this. Instead of him, they ask him, he probably would give everybody one word answers and then go white his eyes out. That's all he gonna be doing all the time. Just let him chill. I think he the best one out of everybody up there. I mean, somebody like Sam.
I think Jon would have made a better king because he's compassionate. I feel like if you gave Bran the option of letting some people starve or maintaining the boundaries of the realm, like he'd be like, "Oh yeah, they'll be all right."
They'll die. Yeah. It's cool.
I don't know, but Jon is like took off since he killed her, right? Like he can't be the king now.
Right.
No, that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying we only can talk about the people that were up there, and y'all saying that everybody else up there is scary. Well, Bran is the one who's not the least scariest. Like you have to pick somebody from that stage.
Scariest one.
No, to me he ain't. He ain't the scariest one at all. He's the least scariest one.
Everything that is going to happen, and he will speak it in his favor.
He ain't gonna live forever. He'll be all right.
Terrifying.
That man is not the worst. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing, huh? Y'all just let Sadie just keep saying he the worst one out of all.
I mean, Bran isn't the worst. Edmure Tully was the worst.
Okay, obviously. But I'm just saying, out of the viable options, like I'd rather.
I wouldn't. Let me put it like this: of the people that could have claimed, the throne, Robin Arryn is a mama's boy who can't even be bothered to learn the sword properly. So no.
He was training though. Remember?
Oh Lord Jesus, no. Anyway, then.
Can't have the Greyjoy chick, or whatever her name is. The Greyjoy chick can't have her.
Hell
no, Yara can definitely not be queen.
Fuck
whoever that kid from Dorne, we don't even know his name. No,
yeah, we don't even know nothing about him. Yeah.
Let's see who else was there.
Davos.
Gendry literally just got out of poverty, so no.
Gendry gonna be chasing after Arya forever. That's all he.
Either that. Either he gonna be chasing after Arya, or like they gonna be like, Your Majesty, the small council is meeting, and he gonna be beating on goddamn metal, talking about, I'm just finishing this up.
Yo, he definitely got put in the friend zone immediately.
Let's not even talk about that forced girl power moment.
I can't.
I don't think it was forced girl power. We knew she wasn't about that action. They
always said that.
Oh no, I'm not saying that she should have said yes. I'm saying that the way that they went about, basically giving him the no was a little much for me. It was like, oh really? Okay.
The her having sex period was much for me.
Really though.
Like they didn't.
Bruh, she told him to take off his own fucking clothes. I was just like, damn.
She's like, what
yeah, I ain't doing shit for you.
you a man.
He's like,
for your own dick. Excuse me.
You didn't know.
You know she was on top the whole time.
Oh man! Wait a minute.
Okay.
You know Gendry was lying. Gendry was lying talking about he been with 2 or 3 women. Like, how you don't know how many you've been with? You know he was lying.
Well, he knew he was with the red woman, so he knew about that.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of he got me too right there. I don't think we want to count that.
He got me too.
I don't think rape victims count. I don't think rape victims count them as
right.
Well, yeah, they ain't have no rape whistle for them or nothing like that. So
But we can have Starbucks though. So we could have brought him back a whistle. I feel.
Like, could have blacksmithed him a whistle.
I love you,
we could have brought him a whistle.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta call it a night.
Yeah, I think.
Likewise. All right, everybody, we're going to end the stream here. Thank you for joining us. If you missed this episode, it will be up on YouTube and Spotify, and possibly iTunes by the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. And it'll also be on our Facebook page. So if you want to check it out and yell at a invisible chat, you could do that. Other than that, check us out on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So that'll be it for the 8-Bit Heroes, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.